Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Craig. I'd like to thank Netbiscuits and particularly Michael Niedhofer and David Barco and Craig Vesnoy for putting together a good event. This is my 4th year at this event, so I've seen considerable progress, and the caliber of speakers and brands has just improved tremendously. So again, thank you very much. I know it's 3 o'clock and you've probably listened to a lot of stuff before this, so we'll try to make this as interesting as possible. We've got about 30 minutes, so feel free to raise your hands and ask questions while we are chatting here. It's very interesting because Armstrong has a B2B play and a B2C play, so it's not very often that we find brands in mobile that find value in mobile marketing for B2B purposes. But I know Craig has introduced our speakers, but I'd like Sally, can you just tell us what exactly do you do at Armstrong and why mobile matters to you?
Sure. As you said, Mickey, I'm Sally Kresge, and I'm with Armstrong's commercial side of the business. So we manufacture flooring and ceilings for B2B for commercial applications, so healthcare, office. If we were in a more traditional type of conference room and you looked up, you would probably see Armstrong ceilings installed. And our flooring division is resilient flooring that you would find in common spaces, corridors, such as linoleum, vinyl sheet. We have some hardwood goods as well. So I'm responsible for basically the digital strategy for Armstrong's commercial businesses. So that includes our full website. It includes our new initiative with mobile, as well as email and social channels as well.
Thank you. Bronwynn?
Hi, I'm Bronwynn March, and like Sally, I have a very similar job to what Sally just described, except my channel is the residential business, so I'm talking to the consumer. The products that my customers purchase are floors and ceilings, so products probably that you're more familiar with, hardwood, laminate flooring, vinyl flooring, you may have that in your homes. So I am responsible for the flooring website, and we also have a residential ceilings website, a smaller business, and am responsible for setting the strategic direction in the online channels. So in addition to mobile, search optimization, we do email, social media, all of across the board.
Thank you, Bronwynn. Now, Sally, at what point did you decide that you needed to have a mobile presence? What was the tipping point?
Well, we have a lot of analytics on our full website, and our customer base for the commercial side are architects, interior designers, contractors. Our products are sold through distribution, so we have distributors, and then we also have end users, or the facility manager, people who are actually at the location where the product would be installed. So we knew that our audience was an audience that wasn't necessarily sitting behind a desk all day. We knew they were at job sites, they were surveying areas, we knew that they were out and about. So when we looked at our analytics on our full site, we saw between 2010 and 2011 that the growth of mobile visitors was up over 250%. So we knew they were coming to us, but we weren't presenting them with the best user experience because our full site was not optimized for mobile viewing. So that was kind of the tipping point where we said, okay, it's time to look at going mobile, and what do we need to do?
So, Bronwynn, what was your role in that realization?
The same thing. We're all consumers, and we are all, on our mobile devices all the time. And we also looked at analytics, saw, I guess 2 years ago, a double-digit percentage increase in people accessing our site from mobile devices, and then last year that just exploded, and we were up over 300%. So, no-brainer. We had to be there. That's where our customers are. We needed to make it easy for them to get information on our products, so they would buy them. So that was the realization that we've got to get out there now.
So how did you know they were looking at your website through a mobile phone? How could you track it? I mean,
we use a analytics package called Manger, and we just look at all the different devices that are accessing our site, and we look at analytics all day long. We have somebody actually dedicated to doing that.
Which devices most often? Like which devices most often?
Which devices were most often?
iPad, iPhone, and Droid in that order.
Go ahead.
And that's where we saw that triple % increase, iPads especially. So just analyzed the analytics, looked at the analytics from Manger, and again, I mean, there's no arguing with the numbers.
Great, thank you. Sally, what were they looking at on their mobile devices?
Today, with our mobile-enabled site, first, to step back a little bit, we looked at the audience and said, what would they be doing on their mobile device? Because we knew from the get-go that we weren't going to mobile-enable the entire website. There were just some pieces of the site that we knew were not things that people would be able to perform well from, a small screen. And we focused on our most mobile, our most mobile group, which was our contractor audience. We knew that they were on job sites. We knew that they needed answers fast to the problems that they had. So what we did was looked at installation information, looked at product information, mobile-enabled our videos, tools and pieces of the site that would make them be able to perform their job faster, easier, and give them the information they needed when they needed it. So that led us to the sections that we decided to mobile enable. And now looking at statistics, we just launched in May of this year, so we haven't had our mobile site up that long. But to date, most traffic is going to our product section. That covers our largest audience, because whether you're an architect, a designer, a contractor, a distributor, or an end user, you're going to have the need to look at product at some point. So that one piece really covered all of our audiences. And then from there, it's our location tools. So if you need to find your sales rep, if you need to contact our technical support system, if you need to locate an installer or a contractor, you can do that from our mobile device, and that's the second most frequent area of our mobile site.
Bronwynn, any thoughts?
Yeah, and on the consumer side, same thing. We could not mobile enable everything, and we looked at what's the information that our customers really need in order to make a decision to buy one of our floors. And so if you think about, like yourself, you might go to a large home center and you see a product there that you're interested in, but there's nobody there to help you. So you need some additional information on that product to help you make that final decision that that's what you want. So the product information. So we decided to mobile enable our product catalog so people could in-store, on the go, get that information. We don't give them every last detail on our products. It's the most important attributes that we know people need to know about prior to making that final decision to buy. So that's the big first section. And then second is our store locator. So we needed to get people, once they found the product they wanted, so that person that's in the store aside, obviously they're already there, but the other people that are on the go, they need to find a flooring store near them quickly. We mobile enabled the store locator part of our site.
We got two questions.
This goes more for the partner side. I'm looking at your site. Are you looking to have it where you can do an extranet for your contractors that are out in the field to be able to purchase and then go pick it up at one of the locations?
That's not a plan right now, but it's primarily due to the way that our distribution channels are set up. So there's potential that we may be able to do mobile enable a piece of kind of that functionality with our distribution channel. But right now we're doing all that just through our full site and not through our mobile site. We also don't have any secure pieces on our mobile site today, so we don't have a login area where partners can log in to get information.
Is there any differences in terms of what your audience wants for mobile and what your audience wants for mobile?
Yeah, so the question Giselle's asking is the differences between the two different audiences of Armstrong, B2B, B2C.
So on the B2C side, our customers are looking for a floor for their home, where to buy it, and ideally we want to get them to the best store that has the best Armstrong presence, the best sales help, things like that. So our audience is looking for that product information and tell me where to go to get that.
Now, from the B2B side, as Bron mentioned, her audience, they're actually consuming the product themselves. I think of my commercial audience, at least from the architect and designer side, which we call our A&D audience. They're more of a specifier, or think of a physician who is prescribing something. They're prescribing the product that should be used in a commercial space. So they're not purchasing it. They're just saying, okay, you're building a new hotel, and I think in conference rooms A, B, and C, this ceiling should be installed, and they're putting it in their construction documents. So I have the job of making product information available to that audience who then needs to sell it again. So the architects and designers are almost like a sales group for us, who are then going to the building owner and saying, this is the product that should be installed in this space. So they're not actually purchasing anything.
Lauren, you had a question?
Why do you think from the consumer side you're seeing so much activity in tablets? If the iPads are being replaced, you're seeing all this action on why on a tablet versus on the consumer?
So the question is, why is Armstrong seeing so much activity on the consumer side on tablets?
I think one of the big reasons is our product is very visual. People, the floor is typically part of a larger project. They're building a house, they're redoing a room. So they're looking to be inspired and get excited about the entire project. And sitting at home at night watching TV, they have the iPad out, flipping through pictures on the site. So I think that the inspiration, the need to see that to visualize the product is one of the reasons that we're seeing a lot of that traffic from the iPad as opposed to the smaller phone, for example.
Great.
I would say from the B2B side, we're seeing that trend as well. And I don't think it's anything unique to Armstrong. I think it's more of an overall trend where tablets are becoming more and more popular. Everyone loved the ease and accessibility of, the smartphone, but, the screen display is really small. And if you can, move to a tablet, which is a little bit bigger, gives you better visibility, more functionality, pretty easy to transport in comparison to a laptop. I think people are doing that, and I don't think that Armstrong is really unique to that piece.
What about, I noticed that you've got a mobile website. I'm sure at one point you had to decide, should we invest first in an app or a mobile website? So what was your thinking from the B2B side and B2C side? How did you decide to go into mobile web first?
Well, on the B2C side, our product is something that you may buy a floor once or twice in your lifetime. It is not a frequent repeat purchase. And so we thought through that, and as far as an app goes, I would require somebody to download something, keep it updated, and we just felt that for our purposes, getting the product information to somebody that just needs it on such an infrequent basis, just making a mobile site where we detect them, take them to the mobile site, just made more sense. It's not to say that down the road we may change direction on that, but that was our thought process initially.
Now, Sally, for you it was slightly different, right? Because you may have more repeat visits.
That's right. We do have repeat business, but as probably many of you as well, we have limited funds. So we decided that if we went and mobile-enabled the key sections of our full website, that we would be able to address a larger audience. We didn't have to develop to different platforms. We were able to, drive people to one place. And part of our strategy then is to look at the performance of our mobile site, see where our users are going, collect feedback from our users, and then determine what is the right app for them. So we didn't want to be guessing as to what type of app we can build or should build. We thought we would go into the mobile site, give them the flexibility to use whatever the device they have, use numerous features of the mobile site, and then we'll go from there to determine if and when we should build apps.
Thank you. How different are your home pages for the B2B and B2C side?
They're actually quite similar.
They're very similar.
They are.
So what's the key difference then? What's the only thing different?
Well, if you go to m.armstrong.com, you'll be able to go into either our residential flooring site, which Bron is responsible for, or a commercial ceilings mobile site, which I'm responsible for. And then we also list our other full sites because we are a global company. We cover residential and commercial flooring, ceilings, cabinets. So we have over 100 websites. We have over 17 languages, but of course we only have 2 mobile enabled right now. But when you go into each one of those, our product offering is different. The ceilings commercial mobile site offers more functionality than the residential flooring mobile site. So there are visible differences, but the user experience and the styles of them are quite similar.
How much of your overall web traffic is from mobile?
From the commercial side, I'm seeing about 3% of our total traffic go into mobile.
And I'm seeing 4%.
But it is growing month to month.
So, Sally, what are you trying to pitch on your homepage? I mean, not Sally, sorry, Bronwynn.
What am I pitching on my homepage? The homepage features links into all of our 5 main product categories, so hardwood, laminate, vinyl sheet, and then the other 2 major calls to action are find a store, which I talked about, and also a link to our customer service center.
So have you seen any decrease in traffic to the PC website as a result of the mobile site?
In fact, I've seen the opposite. Our full site traffic, we've done extremely well this year. We're up almost 30% over last year on our full site, and that's with 4% of our traffic now going to the mobile site. So I do think it's helped our full site as well.
So mobile has actually driven traffic to your PC website?
I believe so.
What about you, Sally?
I'm also seeing an increase in traffic on our full site, but we're fortunate that has been a trend over the past few years, so I can't necessarily attribute that increase in traffic to our mobile site, but I don't feel our mobile site is hurting our traffic to our full site.
Excellent. We got a question there and then a question here.
How do you measure success? I mean, you say you don't sell products on the site. How do you measure success? What does it mean to you? I mean, do you have people in the store asking, hey, where do you get the information from?
That's a great question, and that is a challenge that we deal with day in and day out. Our success metrics are really getting people to do a store lookup on the website. We don't have a way across the board to what we say close the loop, to know. We know that somebody's looked up, they found Joe's Flooring down the street, but once they go there, it's really the customer's in the retailer's hands. And so we don't have a way to tie that back. Now, we're piloting a program with a select group of retailers to have them report back to us on sales that they've closed as a result of the website. But that's a small pilot right now. But we're hoping to head in that direction because that is a challenge. We can't say with 100% certainty that they actually bought.
Thank you. Sally, what about you? How do you measure success?
Well, from our mobile site, Armstrong is fortunate from the commercial ceilings business. We do have a majority market share in that category. So for us, we're really looking to inspire our audience, to give them exposure to our product, and then again to service the contractor. So in that sense, if the contractor is looking for installation information or watching a video on how a certain clip goes together, basically that's business we already have because they're installing our product. So we're looking there for, it's more around customer satisfaction. We want that contractor to be happy with their experience with Armstrong so that when the next project comes to them, they're still happy to work with Armstrong. On the first half, the earlier part of the funnel where we're trying to get architects and designers and other specifiers to like our product, we have a photo gallery enabled, which the intent there is inspiration. Someone who was presenting just previous to us talked about how people love to look at photos on their phones. So, I'd like to think that when people are killing time, they're coming to Armstrong and looking at our photos. I don't know, that might be a little far-fetched, but the objective there is to inspire them. They can flip through, look at products and look at true installations that they may not have seen before. The other thing we're trying to do from a commercial ceilings perspective is we're more than just white side down ceilings. So if you think of an acoustical ceiling, you think of the type of ceiling that you see in commercial spaces, your mind may go to a hospital with a white, pretty stark 2x2 or 2x4 ceiling, but we have a portfolio of wood, of metal, of some really unique different materials, and so we're trying to build awareness of that category, of those categories as well.
Giselle, there.
My question was very similar to Manger, but I was going to just ask if you
Bronwynn, could you repeat the question?
Right, so the first part was, have we seen a sales lift? I can't say that we have or have not, because we don't have any way to tie the traffic to the store, a sale back to the site right now. I don't know. I'd like to think we have, but I can't. I have no way to prove that right now, and I don't know if I will. Like I said, we're piloting some programs to do that, and it's been successful thus far, but it's really a little early to say that definitively. And the second part of your question?
The second question was, or part of it was, to kind of try to draw some more, even if it's anecdotal information, do you have any prompts in your displays that would actually drive the consumer, and you can make some inferences based on time of day and tie that back to sales data with the store location, stuff like that?
Right, we have not, so by prompts on displays, so like a QR code, for example,
Right,
things like that.
Yeah.
We have not done that yet. This is our site is so new; it's a few months old, but that is something I do see us doing, hopefully next year.
Sally, what about you? I mean, are you doing anything with your B2B audience to drive traffic to mobile, or is it just your channel agnostic?
Well, I think that might be one of our lessons learned. The whole theory of build it and they will come is not necessarily true. So we saw all the traffic that was hitting our full site from mobile devices, so we mobile enabled our site. And as I said, about 3% of our traffic is coming to our mobile site. But we need to do, now that the site is up, it's healthy, it's running, I think we need to do a better positioning and a better push towards driving more traffic to it. We do auto-direct, so if you're trying to get to our full site from a mobile device, we will take you directly there, but we're not auto-directing for tablets. So that could be a little portion of that percentage that, is still getting blended in with our full site views, which is technically, a mobile device.
And you don't do any lead capture, right? No lead capture in both the
No,
areas?
we do not.
Great. Why not?
I think we're just starting small. We kind of came out of the blocks with, let's get our site mobile enabled, let's identify the most important features of our site, and then get some feedback, and I see it in our future.
Great, thank you. Giselle, you had a question? Yeah, so Giselle's question was, what role does social media play in trying to create awareness for mobile?
Yeah, on both our mobile site and our full site, we have the typical presence: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all those. And so we do have that quite prominently on the mobile site, on the homepage. I actually think it's in the footer across the site and with all of the products. So we are, actively seeking out those likes and followers. We actually are, yes. Now, the site's only been up for a few months now, but was just looking at the metrics yesterday, and I've seen quite an increase in sharing just in the 4 months since the site's been up. So it is being utilized.
We've just come to a commercial break, so I'll ask that question. Why did you choose Netbiscuits?
I'll take that one. Armstrong has a very stringent policy about RFPs. So we basically put together our requirements. We went out to bid, circulated our proposals, and we heard back from several different vendors. But Netbiscuits was really able to meet our requirements, every one of our requirements, and they were competitively priced, and we thought they were the best value for what we needed to do.
Now, what makes the Netbiscuits platform different from the other platforms out there?
Well, I'm not too techy, so do you want to?
Right. Yeah, I can't speak from a technical perspective, but I know one of the things that I think we both wanted was we don't know much about mobile. It's a very new space to us, and we have design and usability and people on staff, but we had not done anything in that space before. So that was an area of expertise that Netbiscuits could bring to us. And it was very helpful.
You heard all these presentations since the morning, right?
Since lunch.
Since lunch. Okay. Obviously, you're mobile consumers yourself. Do you like any mobile site that you aspire to model your site on eventually?
That's a good question. I can't say in the B2B space, especially within our competition, our competitors really are not there yet. So as far as the building industry, the building materials industry, and from a B2B perspective, I hope to be the leader. I hope that our site will continue to grow based on the feedback we're receiving from our audience, and that people will aspire their sites to be like Armstrong.
Thank you. Any thoughts?
Yeah, same thing on my side. We don't have a lot of our competitors are not where we are in the mobile space. But what I'd like to see us do is more to the one question about just doing more things to drive traffic to the site and putting even more valuable content on the site beyond just our product catalog and our store locator that we have today.
So, which brings me to this question: how often do you refresh or update your site, mobile site?
Well, I mean, product information is updated as frequently as we have changes in products. It's not a daily occurrence, quarterly probably. Now, it's a new site, so we haven't had the opportunity to do much of that yet. But as the year progresses and we launch new products, I can see us doing much more promotion on the site. We just haven't had that opportunity yet.
Great, thank you. Sally, any thoughts?
Well, I agree with Bron. I mean, we have pretty scheduled product launches on our side of the business, so they're planned well in advance, so we're able to update our mobile site as we would regularly update our full site as well.
Now, what about the tablet? I mean, at what point do you think you'll have a separate strategy for the tablet versus the smartphone?
I would say from the B2B side, we are continuing, at least short term, we're continuing to treat the tablet as we treat our full site. We think that, our concern is the user experience. So we want to make sure that our users are able to get the information they need and that it's usable, that they're not, having to pinch and whatnot to make the information accessible to them. And right now we don't have an issue with that. So I would say short term, we are not changing anything for tablet users.
Great, thank you.
Same on the consumer side.
Now, are you doing anything special for the holidays?
We are not.
You're not?
No.
Yeah, B2B world.
Well, so how's your buying cycle like? What's it like? When do you see a peak?
On the consumer side, it peaks in early spring and in the fall. So look at April, May timeframe. Over the summer months, people are outside. They have other things on their mind. And then it peaks again in right around now, September, October timeframe, and then the holidays are coming. People don't have time for that. So we really see a drop in our traffic November, December into January.
The B2B side is a little bit different. It depends on the segment. We're very big in healthcare, and healthcare really doesn't have the same cycles as many of the other segments. We do see a lot of cyclical behavior in the education segment. When schools are out is when school construction is going on. So we will see a lift in sales around that time of year. But the other thing with the B2B side of our business is that cycle may be 18 months long. So when an architect is specifying our product, there's still a lot of work that's beyond there before the product actually gets installed. So as far as, I think there was a question before for the B2C side around, are you seeing an increase in sales based on your mobile site? For the B2B side, it's way too early for us to tell because the products that may be being specified today as the result of our mobile site may not actually be sold for another, 12 to 18 months down the road.
Do you monitor who is visiting your mobile site? Like a competitor, for example?
I was just to say to what level of detail. We do not look at the level, we look at referring domains, but we are not doing anything at this point to dissuade them from coming to our site.
Obviously, you would love everybody to come to your portion, right?
Anybody's welcome. Yes.
We've got a couple more minutes and room for one more question from the audience. Anyone who wants to put Sally on the spot? Or Bronwynn? All right, we got one.
So now that you both have mobile sites up and going, where do you see it going for your business? What do you want to do with it now? I mean, I know you both talked about how tablet isn't necessarily a huge part of what you're focusing on right now, but where do you see it going for both of your sides of the business?
I would like to see us drive more traffic to the site that we have via QR tags, for example, on in-store displays and packaging. One thing I'd love to see is a QR code on a product that goes to a short video that shows how easy it is to install. So that's just one example. There's definitely, even though our site is relatively light and focused on just the product catalog right now, there is definitely information out there that content we could create to help educate our customer even further, to show them how easy our products are to install, the different benefits, whether it be video or whatever. So that's just one example of where I'd like to see it go.
From a B2B perspective, I'm interested in apps. I talked a little bit before about how our initial strategy was just to get everyone, regardless of the platform that they're on, to our mobile site to get exposure there. But we do know that our customers are repeat users much more frequently than Bron's side of the business, and we know that they have some unique needs. So it's identifying those and determining which are the best, and then moving down the road of apps.
So one final thing. Being a mobile newbie, what's the one piece of advice you'd give to other Netbiscuits clients and marketers in the room?
My piece would be just jump in. Don't be afraid to jump in. It was probably a little intimidating at first when we were trying to determine what we wanted to do, but I definitely think we made the right decision by moving forward. Start small. I know it's kind of cliche, but baby steps first. So that's what we did. We identified. I identified 4 areas on my site. You had 2 on yours, and we said this. We have to get started. So don't be afraid to jump in and start small. And then there's always room to build, and you will get the feedback that you need to make the right decisions.
Great, thank you.
Can I just say, same thing, start small and don't feel like you need to mobile enable everything. Make sure it's what your customer wants and needs and not what you or your business unit sponsor thinks they want and need.
Thank you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Sally Kresge, Bronwynn Mark, and thank you, Netbiscuits. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.